Welcome to the Team Engagement Podcast, where leaders of teams share their insights. It's 6 questions in less than 9 minutes because leaders know how to be concise. Let's start right into it this morning. Question number 1, in a few sentences, tell us who you are and what you do.
So my name's Jim Estill. I'm CEO and owner of Danby Appliances. I started my first business from the trunk of my car, grew it to a couple billion in sales, retired. I invested in a bunch of tech businesses, was on the boards, for instance, BlackBerry. I was one of the founding board members. And then I unretired because I sat on the board of Danby Appliances. The CEO resigned and I said, I'll go in and run it. And then they wanted me to sell the business. I said, fine, I'll take it.
Fantastic. Great story. Question number 2, what's the best thing about working with a team?
Well, the best thing about working with a team, you're probably not going to like the answer, but basically, I tell everybody that I don't do anything. Everybody else does everything. So, what do I get to do? I just get to talk to you and, yeah. So the best thing about working on a team is having everyone else do a lot of the work. How's that?
That sounds good to me. Question number 3. I hear from other leaders of teams that it can be a challenge to get team members engaged. Tell me your thoughts on that.
Well, I actually think it's not that difficult to keep people engaged if they understand the vision and if you give them autonomy and if you don't micromanage. And in an odd sort of way, we're in a time of crisis right now, but with COVID happening, but that actually inspires people. They want to save the company. They want to do their part. And all they need is a little bit of direction on what can you do to do your part. So I don't really find inspiring people to be a huge issue. And I don't even know how I do it, but it seems to work.
Well, that's great. I love those insights. Thank you. Question number 4. What other successful leaders of teams, such as yourself, should be on my podcast?
Well, you've got a YPO list that is almost endless. So there's tons and tons of YPOers I'd suggest you reach out to, like Rick Jameson from ABS Friction would probably be a good one. Paul McLean from ShipperBee, he's not, but I could send you an email list, but there's a huge number of people. Just go through the directories, top to bottom.
I'll take it. Thank you. Question number 5. What piece of advice would you give to other professionals who are leading teams?
So I would say right now that many of my teams, the office staff, are now work at home. We need to rethink communication and we need to over communicate. So we can't just say, oh, well, we send an email on it. So I'm a big advocate of video. So everyone's on, in our case, Microsoft Teams, but I don't care whether it's Teams or Callbridge or whatever. So many of the meetings are done video. So I always say, instead of stopping by your desk, I want to just be able to click the button and talk to you. But largely it's about over communicating. And now I'm also spending time people sharing my real thoughts on what's going on and what we can do.
Those are great ideas. Thank you. Question number 6. Tell us about your first job.
Well, my first job's not that interesting. It depends on whether it's first job or the first job that I worked for someone else. The first real job I had was working at a taxi stand where I was growing up, a place called Woodstock, Ontario. And the taxi stand was also the bus station. And so I was dispatcher because I wasn't old enough to drive. People would call and say, oh, pick me up here and drop me off there. You'll find this hard to believe, but it actually predated Uber.
That's a great experience. I love it. Well, thank you very much, Jim. How can people find you?
Well, the easiest way is always LinkedIn. So connect to me on LinkedIn. My blog is www.jimestill.com. And you can Google Danby, of course, or Google me. If you can't find me on Google, then you need help.
Fair enough. Thank you so much for being on the podcast. This is Sean Richards with the Team Engagement Podcast. It's 6 questions in 9 minutes. And we appreciate everybody for being on and participating today, and have a great day.